Kyo, Minasan, I'm virtual YouTuber Yukio Kami, and I know, it's been a while since I've been back. I haven't seen you guys since Christmas, so sorry about that. But I'm back now, and this video is a ghost story, so I hope you guys are excited about that one. And as you guys can see, I brought back an old friend. Say hi, Yure. You see, he's happy to be back too. I know I've been gone for a while now, so I'm happy to say that I'm back now, and I'll be bringing a lot of good fun videos. So be sure to look forward to them, okay? Huh? Doshita, Yure. Yeah, don't worry. I'll still make more ghost stories. I say I'll at least post 3 ghost stories every month if I can. So you'll be sticking around a lot. Okay everybody, without further ado, please enjoy. Bell ringing temple. This happened to my father when he was in high school. He decided to go with a friend to a local temple for the first temple visit of the year on New Year's Eve. Being that the temple was so big, the place was packed with people that night. The temple had a bell located a short distance away from the main building. To get there, you had to go up some stairs close to the edge of the grounds. These days, if you pay money, you can go up and ring the bell, but in the past, people didn't really go near it. But on this day, my father and his friends went over, and what I'm about to tell you now is their story of the bell ringing temple. The bell ringing temple could be found at the top of some stairs. Now, it's well maintained, and the area around it is a nice grassy lawn. My father and his friend climbed the stairs without thinking much of it, and when they got to the top, a man came walking towards them from the grassy mountains on the other side. Despite how busy the temple grounds were, they were the only ones near the bell, and they didn't sense anyone, so they found this strange. They reasoned that maybe a couple had a fight, and the man wanted to be alone. So when they saw him, they didn't think too much of it. The man dragged his feet and swayed as he walked, creeping them out. So they stopped on the spot. As the man approached them, this time he stopped in front of them. He swayed on the spot, staring at them. The pair stared back at the man as he swayed left and right. It was creepy, but they couldn't move, so they stood there frozen, looking at him. "Hey, he's looking at your right," my father's friend said to him. "Yup, he's looking at me. And now he's looking at me, right? Yup, he's looking at you." My father thought that perhaps the man was a little crazy. They didn't want any trouble, so they decided to run. "This guy's not right in the head. Let's get out of here," he said to his friend. "Yeah, let's go," he agreed. They agreed to hold hands and run. That way, when they both turned around, they wouldn't lose each other. "Listen, don't let go of my hand. As soon as we turn around, run," my father said. They turned and ran down the stairs, gripping each other's hand. A wind blew behind them and rustled through the grass like a wave, creeping them out even further. But the man didn't follow them, and they got away safely. But then, this year, 40 years later, the story continued. That friend still comes to our house every New Year. like clockwork to play mahjong with my father, to see in the new year, this year, as always, he came over again. We used to visit that temple when we were in high school, huh? My father's friend said. Yeah, we went every year. Do you remember the bell ringing temple? Then all these years later, they learned the truth. Yeah, I remember, my father said. That sure was creepy, huh? Seriously. To change the topic for a sec. Hang on. His friend interrupted him. Every time I try to talk about it, you try to change the subject. Can you let me talk about it this time? What? Sure. So, we went to the bell ringing temple that time, right? Yeah. That guy was looking at us. Sure was creepy. Man, that takes me back. He was just staring at us. Right. That. Yeah, I remember, my father said. He came down from the mountains. He was just walking strangely, and I think he was a bit funny in the head. After that, we held hands and ran. And then that creepy wind blew. Did you see him? His friend asked. Huh? Of course I saw him. No, you're not listening. I didn't see him. Huh? What are you saying? He came wobbling towards us from the back of the temple. He was creepy, so both of us stopped, right? Yeah, we stopped. But I just felt like something was wrong, and I couldn't move. Huh? What do you mean? My father continued. As soon as we reached the top of the stairs, I felt like something was wrong. It was like the moment I stepped over the line, I felt something dangerous up there. So I thought you sensed the same thing. Yeah, because that guy was staring at us, my father said. We both confirmed that he was looking at us, right? Yeah, we did, but I could only feel something looking at me. Huh? So you're saying he wasn't human? I never said there was a person there. Do you remember when we ran? What did you see then? I didn't see anything. Just the wind blowing creeped me out. So, you didn't see it then? Well, I didn't either, but when we were running, I sensed his presence. It was like he was holding us under his arms, looking at each of our faces in turns. That whole time, the wind was blowing, he was looking at us. First you, then me, then you again. Over and over. Then suddenly the wind stopped. Yeah, now that you mention it, it did. When the wind stopped, he was gone. I thought we were safe, but I soon realized that you thought he was just a normal person. He thought it was strange that my father always brushed our strange experience off so easily. At first, he thought that maybe he just didn't want to remember it. But then, as some more time passed, he started to think that maybe my father hadn't seen anything after that. So he wanted to find out once and for all. As for my father, he thought that his friend kept bringing it up because it was simply a scary experience they both shared. Hearing the full story now, he was shocked. It had taken him over 40 years to learn that he's seen a real ghost. My girlfriend is a ghost. It would seem I'm being haunted by a ghost. I've just realized recently, lots of things have happened that make me think so. For example, on my way home from seeing a client, I stopped by a family restaurant to eat some late lunch. When they asked me how many drinks, I said one. For some reason, they brought out drinks for two. Another time, on a busy train, the space next to me was open, and yet nobody sat there. I honestly thought maybe I smelled bad or something. Yet another time, when I got home from work, something about the house seemed off. Turned out all the furniture and ornaments had been moved just slightly. And one time, my shoulders felt so stiff, and it was followed by this cold sensation of air passing down by my neck. But what really nailed it was something that just happened. I happened to glance at the mirror, and in it, I saw a woman's hand resting on my left shoulder. When I looked directly at my shoulder, nothing was there. You're here, aren't you? I know you are. I screamed while thinking, panicking. If she answered, I probably would have died of a heart attack. But thankfully, there was no response. Ever since then, strange supernatural occurrences have been continuing. It's not like she looks like Sadako or anything, but I can sense her and the apartment regardless. There is one thing I've come to understand, however. Although this spirit is haunting me, it doesn't appear to mean me any harm. My body is healthy, and I haven't had any psychological problems either. My fear and wariness have also started to fade. Today was so cold. One day, I finally started to talk to her. Of course, she didn't answer, but felt like I was no longer alone. Having a ghost comfort my loneliness was like some type of dark comedy. Then at some point I realized that I was treating her like a real girlfriend. I probably thought of her much like otaku think of their dolls and figures, I guess. Which tie should I wear today? Someone watching me speak to an empty room would probably think that I've lost it. But why is she haunting me? That I don't know. From the moment I realized she was, however, things started going really well for me. I started doing better at work and my relationships improved. If I lost something, I'd always find it again. It was like she was helping me, and although I can't say for certain, I truly believed it. I could always feel her by my side. She had to be my guardian angel. The following year, I was promoted to business manager. It was a single position, only given to those on their way up in the company. I drank some sake at home with her to celebrate. I'd even stopped drinking with my colleagues on my way home. I wanted to return home as soon as possible because spending time with her was the most important thing to me. I was acting like a married man, so much so that my colleagues were doubting whether I was still single anymore. I wondered how they would react if they knew that she was a ghost. Imagining it made me laugh, but I was also curious. Shortly after I became the section manager, there were talks of arranging my marriage. The daughter of a company president we dealt with often came to see me. She was beautiful and intelligent. I failed to see the problem with it. The only problem was her. When I got home that day, she was oddly quiet. Normally, she played jokes like knocking my shoes over or opening doors. But on this day, nothing. Was she that upset? You'd rather I be happy, wouldn't you? I called out to her. Then, a book on the shelf above my head fell down. She was so angry. A ghost jealous of a living human being? I struggled to understand it. The formal marriage interview went terribly. She kept getting in the way. She knocked my tea over and caused me to trip over nothing. In the end, my bag zipper got caught in my potential partner's expensive clothes and ruined them. Get a grip! I screamed. When I got home, she rattled the drawers, trying to convey her own anger at me. I screamed back, asking her what she wanted from me, what I should do. There was no way we could ever be happy together. Just get out! I screamed, full emotion. At that very moment, the atmosphere in the room changed. She was gone. I could feel it, keenly. Next thing I knew, I was crying. I really did want to be happy with her. But that would never be possible. Not only could I never touch her, I'd never be able to see or hear her. How could we be happy together? This way was better, but inside, I didn't want to let her go. It was like some part of me was now missing. I knew I was being just selfish. I was alone all that time before her. So it would be like going back to those times. No big deal. I knew I was just bluffing, but that was what I told myself anyway. I lay low after that. The arranged marriage didn't work out. My position at work worsened, and it even affected my relationships with other people. As my work's results declined, I was blamed for mismanaging those beneath me and forced to resign. Was all this because she, my guardian angel, was gone? I feared it was, but there was no point laminating it. I had to look forward. I found a new job and threw myself into work day and night. I worked myself to the bone. Even when those around me told me I was working too much, that just spurred me on even more. Maybe it was my form of atonement to her. Just like that, time passed me by. I had no time to look back. And before I knew it, I had forgotten all about her. One day, a newspaper headline caught my eye. OO Corporation petition for bankruptcy. It was the client I used to work with, the CEO with the daughter I was supposed to marry. If the marriage had gone ahead, then right now I'd probably be in over my head with troubles. Thank God she stepped in. No, maybe she had known from the very beginning, and this was her warning. It had to be. And I said all those horrible things to her. I felt both regret and annoyance with myself at the same time. But there's no way to apologize to her now. That night, I had a dream. Among dozens of people at Tokyo Station, I saw a woman of my age bent over in pain. Nobody tried to help her. How cold Tokyo people were. I approached her. Then I woke up covered in sweat. Then I remembered when I went to Tokyo on business once, the exact same thing had happened as in my dream. That woman was taken to the hospital. That woman was her. I had no proof, but I fully believed it. That weekend, I got on the bullet train and went to Tokyo. I wanted to check what happened to that woman after she went to the hospital. Thankfully, I still remembered which one she went to. Not that it mattered, because they wouldn't tell me anything. It happened several years prior, and even if they did remember, it was private information. There was no way they could tell me. But there was still a reason for me to be there. With that in mind, I left the hospital. I sensed something behind me. When I turned around, a woman wearing a hospital garb stood there. I was crying. Before I knew it, so was she. It was her, no doubt about it. We finally met. Are you okay? Can you hear me? His heart stopped. Get the ASD. Someone call a doctor. She grabbed my hand and pulled me towards the light. It was the first time in my life I'd ever felt so full. きや、皆さん I hope you guys enjoyed today's ghost stories. What about you, Yurei? Didn't you enjoy the ghost stories? Yeah, I agree. The first ghost story we ever told was pretty scary. Definitely a lot scarier than these ones. Oh well, I'm glad to be back, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So, until my next video, bye-bye! Alright then, Yurei. I'll see you later, okay? Good night. Later. It's bedtime. Man, I'm tired. Huh? What the hell is going on?
Ha 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 ha.
What the? Where am I? What the hell is this place? Where am I? Hello? Can anybody hear me? I'm scared. Okay, well, I'm not that scared. Because I honestly have no idea what's going on right now. So yeah, I am scared. Anyone? Let's get there. On a guy?